performer, but it's we're waiting for a 6 program together. Way back from the end of the board, but experience to save the dive when he makes mistakes, particularly good at
very take off because of that step back on the hurdle step. 2.5 somersaults, very nice entry. Just almost with the landing on the end of the dive hold. Degree, they're just at 2.6. Yeah,
that's the problem. We overall 6 program, so solid stuff on Austrian. German now from he's 20 years of age, same as I put up the silver medal just ahead of German 2 and 3 at the European Championships in Eindhoven. Same divers we've seen in Ukraine, Russia. Difficult here.
Yeah, kind of back. Wolfram has his total balance. You swing arms through, but keep weight toes, jump back. You'll make it really easy. It look low out. You see the tension change through to sort of the slack and throw.
63.55 Martin. He's going to have to improve it. This particular fun, as long as it's not out of it, might be get away cover that still a pose. Now, dive in terms of roaching, but high attack because like
yeah, Tudor's doing inward to half in the pipe position. More to put in the time.
That's the doubles today.
Wow, it's very easy. Against a little from him. Too much problem. Good strike. Excellent like the top chin as he's going around. Well, you can see how flexible divers have to be. Knees locked out, toes pointed, face pulling down for the second part of the somersault, and then just around just in time.
Martin degree into 70. This one to spring. This is the first of them.
The real problem within the prelims scored less than 60 points. He had a very up down tissue.
That accounts for his position mid-table through to the final. Oh, made sure of it here though. You can't get higher for one to spot with a static bar.
Yeah, he's heading to the class. Great position, and look at the kick up. Then reaches a dead.
What? 78 marks for Holland. Considering that's off the 3.0 tariff, that's really impressive. So Pacheco, we've seen this dive already now from Germany. To do this, it's coming from the plan diving they're doing such short concentrate and springboard. Much more like it, Mexico.
Yeah, he was winning to go through the water. But jump water. But it's to the sword and so better.
This seems to be the final. It's hot. It's really tough. And you start to get the big scores. Sebastian Mendoza then for Colombia. Twist competition. Low, high, with the aggressive.
Yeah, it's performed really well. What's important is that the first pass of the dive is smooth. That's a 1.5 twist. Rated from the board. Picked one hand up on top of the head, other hand the front board. Just in. I like to square out. Side.
Man, 61.10. Only a degree of difficulty. Very good start for him. Second of the Mexican divers to this. Alejandro Chavez, 21.8. 81.20 in the qualification. He's capable of going well over 400. Control one. We start to see some very
step that he hits the board in the water, the board goes right in the water and surrounding an open pike position. Score well. Again, just 2 points. So
start from choosing competition away and then maybe choosing the favourite dive to finish. Crusher, the superstar of European diving in terms of bringing said host of European Championship.
but it's only he's for those guys. Also the medalist.
Very impressive, and that's why Crusher is such a high-quality springboard.
Slightly different style though, swinging through chin balls down rather than throw forward. Feet just a little loose on the kick out, saves it well. Right, really lose effort to pull into the tuck. Shame about the fit, that will be picked up judges.
Definitely 7.50. Crusher will be happy with as well. For a strong challenge in the particular event. And should I as the man is flying the bag. He hit up for 2 seasons ago and then had injury problems since. And come back, create this World Championships. A lot slimmer, actually. With the rotations, was very muscular. The last time we saw him diving in a sport is in great football.
Yeah, it's great shape for championships. And these are to increase the rotation, lock out on the end, good feet extension. In the print to speed 0.05 Chinese.
Matches here. Everybody is chasing the free limb, but so in the position we want to shooting out. So best effort to finish out first round.
This is a reverse, and then sorts 2 half twists. So we'll start facing forwards and then twist back towards the diving board 2.5 times. Problem I'll take. The hurdle step, as he was dropping on the end of the ball, he had his weight forward on his toes, and then we see him just go forward away from the board. Stay with it. Because of the high jump to get the square out and pike down. Seeing the water, squeezing the ears. I've seen him do it better though.
Coaches would agree with you on that one, Chris. So, first round complete. complete. Lee on 72 and ready. Chinese pair, but a little work to
Messi?
Hey, kid.
Kobe Bryant? Would you like to have my opinion?
yeah.
Let fly with Europe's best airline, Turkish Airlines.
Well, back. So I think looking at them, Sun's taken in top spot for Lee. He was the finisher from Chinese point of view, top limb. Really crasher in second and Jurati third, but I saw him second with him. And then it brought it down from there, but not very good scores, so it's quite tight at the top. And still competent term for the pole. But certainly worth a lead to get himself back in amongst it. Well, is our second round. Again, problem off the board, shooting forward a little bit, but he preferred to line that one.
Yeah, a little bit of height because of that lean. Composition, round. Into the pipe. It's in early, you can look at water very tight.
My apologies. Getting us, so we still away on the break. And Sergei still diving solidly as well. Constantine half out this competition. Test underway over difficulty. It will notice since the university he's added a couple higher tariff manoeuvres in. Excellent fight from the Austrian. A bit for the entry.
Yeah, I think he just sees that a little longer, but look, very powerful, just underneath the capsule hut. The late kick, had a quick march there. Small over. That's what he thinks.
It's the slow-mo giving it all sorts of different angles and reactions. 69 marks for Constantine. To the board, Michael Fromm will be followed by his compatriot. Wasn't he? You don't want a bit far into the water.
Yeah, this final try too much. That's what they end up already leaning. Still lots of it. He didn't modify his car. He still comes out from the top into a bike. It just gives the impression of being a low to the water. Just jump out straight out.
60 from 5 then for 10. Two dives in this men's meet to final. These are championships in Barcelona. Forward turn somersault, single twister, the second of Oliver. Well, use the board like a trampoline there. Very good goal away.
Again, another dip the ball into water. Opt to do the twist first. It's in the water. There's a single twist. Pull forward into the pipe. And then locking out on the end. You've got a choice to twist first or actually start separation. Good effort. Dive 3.2. 50 points.
That's good scoring though from Oliver. Scoring his hatch. Martin took the silver.
Well, this is an interesting dive. In the prints, he got re-dive. As he took off, he leg backward and he landed tried on his back on the board, didn't go water, got to do the dive again, but he lost 2 points from each judge.
Well, he's gone away, done a little bit of work, and come to this final in great shape. So moment, like the man to beat.
Yeah, he was leading after the first round, good reach back, excellent height position, water there, keeps the body back, good knee. That's the only mistake, that little bend of the knee going into the bait, but from here on, perfect height. There's centimetres between the chin and the knee.
Oh yes, and he's into the 80s. Look across from his compatriot Lee. No real eye contact there. Romel Pacheco then, 4 minutes ago. Oh no, just lost it.
Why did he do that? He was so high. He kicks, he looks, straightens them out again. Everything's fine here. I wonder if he lost his spot. Kicks, good, but then bends. Well, very unusual.
40.50, that's put the mockers on it, I'm afraid. 2 Mexicans in this final, but one of them, Pacheco, out of the running. Just can't afford a big miss like that. Mendoza of Colombia in with 2.5 somersaults from him, currently laying in 11th position.
Unusual kick out there. Came out with the arms first, knees were bent, and then kicked the legs out. Strong push, good throw. Tuck's fine. Yeah, very slow getting the legs straight. See the hesitation here, and then a little wobbly with his back on the entry.
68.20, still solid from Mendoza. Alejandro Chavez, the second of the Mexican divers in this women's 1 metre final. 21-year-olds with his twister at 3.2. Highest tariff we go to in this final, 3.4. 4 divers diving that one. Oh, you would have really enjoyed his time on the board there, Chris, but we'll feel that he hasn't quite capitalised on the dive itself.
A difficult dive, very hard. Stamps the board. Wobbly in the twist, head down, knees bent. So you could tell that he's struggling on this dive. There, the ball dips into the... Yeah, he's shaking his head. He knows he's missed his dive.
The degree of difficulty still gives a bit of support to that score, so it's all multiplied together into the 7th. Man that shares second place with him will dive the same dive next up, Mathieu Rosset.
That's the first of the 3.5s that we're seeing in the pike position.
Well, he heard the ball go into the water, and that just seemed to affect Ilya a touch.
Yeah, again, slightly off balance. Got a small lean here, so he can't get his arms completely over his head. From there on, that's good, but he finishes low to the water. So slightly missed takeoff. Sometimes the lean can help you into your somersault, but not in the 1 metre. You've got to be upright, you've got to get more height.
Beautiful pike position, but Kvasha has to settle for 62.70, and the reaction from him there shows that he felt that was worth a little bit more. Rosset, same dive, direct comparison, and a real chance here to just sneak ahead of Kvasha.
Yeah, just scored 57 points on this. Missed it in prelim.
I had to make an adjustment on the board, but he's done it well.
Yeah, you can see the arm move, and he wasn't quite sure whether he was going to go over the end of the diving board as he's landing. Arms should be straight, but he bent his arms, gets them through eventually. There's a struggle there. And he's surprised, actually, that he's made it. Should score a little bit more than the prelims, 58.
A lot more, and more than Ilya Kvasha as well. Not the best start from Lee. So needs to build from here. Twister from him, 3.2 on the tariff. Saw the same dive from Oliver Hommert of Germany.
See if he does the twist first or last.
Yes, I would have chosen to do the twist first, into the somersaults. And the other way round from Lee, and very nicely done.
No, I do actually prefer it that way. In a way, sometimes easier to control, as long as you're out at the somersault at the right time. So does 1 3/4 somersaults there, and twist, locks the knee out. Just needs to work a bit more on those legs. Just not fully extended, and the feet crossed over. 1.2, just score well.
Fans are happy. And Lee will be pleased enough with that. 76 Sato recovering the situation as we watch.
The more you share experiences, the greater they become.
Holidays?
No.
Business?
No.
Friends?
No.
Why are you so far away from home?
I have no idea.
Welcome back. Sun still leads for China. Oliver Homer doing himself a lot of favours in that round. He jumps up into second. Majurase hanging on in there on that leaderboard, and Lee just hovering off the back. Ilya Kvasha is the man that really missed out of the big names, but competition warming up very nicely indeed. So Sergei Nazin, second diver to go in this third round. No, not right there, and just again coming away from the board. That timing that you talked about, Chris, just wasn't right.
Yeah, and the divers aren't quite sure when to kick out and what adjustments make if you're moving away from the diving board. But there again, you've got to keep your reverses safe. You don't want to get too close. So a miss on the kick out, too much pull, has kept it under 70 points.
66 marks for Sergei. Yeah, that's where that experience comes in. There's the little load wheels on the springboard. You can choose whichever board you want to go off and make the adjustment so that it feels...
That's right, it's called a fulcrum, and just by the fulcrum, you can't see it, there's numbers from 1 to 9.
Blaha, Austria. Got a lot of power off that board again, and Constantine is there or thereabouts, as he always is.
Yeah, good strong 1 metre diver. There's the reach back. Now, from this point, he feels like he's flying. Good kick out. There's the reach back. A little knee safe on the end. It's well performed, that dive.
Yes, 72 marks. That'll do nicely. That's right up where he needs to be. Lee watching on nervously. He'll be the last man to go in each of the rounds, so at least he can see what he has to be. Martin Wolfram, though, not a good start from the young German. Silver medalist at the European Championships this year, but down in 8th at the moment. Again, back from the board, you got that sensation of being thrown forwards instead of up, and the dive at hard.
Yeah, the ball could have gone down further. Good twist position, though, and a good lockout on the end. Just lost about half a metre of height at the beginning of the dive.
Still a good solid mark, but not quite as good a dive as Sun. So our leader will follow Oliver Homer. Moving himself into silver medal position, and we thought he looked good at the European Championships, but he did make a mistake towards the end of his 6-round programme, and that's what allowed Wolfram through. If he can get it right today, Chris, he could be in the medals.
That's right, it was his best performance ever getting that third.
Tremendous height. That was sensational. Jan Kretschmar's happy.
Yeah, it's one of the first takeoffs that has just been hit exactly right. Coming down, the board dipped into the water, all the timing is there, and you can see it just floats around. The dive looks easy, and that's the important part. Should score very well. It's the best of the reverse 2.5 so far.
73.5. Well, he would have liked to have squeezed into the nines with that.
Yeah, it's definitely should have got 1 or 2 nines there. That's a bit mean with just 8.
His opportunity, reverse 1.5 somersaults with the 2.5 twists. Man that is currently lying in first place.
Big problems.
Yeah, he's done fantastically well to save that.
In the hurdle step, he dipped right over the top of his knee. He was off balance right here. Arms are dropped down. He's trying to pull back towards the ball, but he's travelling towards the ball on the other side of the ball, but still gets around. Well, he'll be marked down for that. At least 2 points from each of the judges.
Yeah, they've hammered him. 64.50. That will change things at the halfway point. It also gives a little bit of encouragement to those that are trying to hunt Sun down. Unfortunately for him, a big miss in round 2, so this back 2.5 somersaults has to be perfect.
Yeah, that funny kick out on the reverse.
And another strange kick out. He's got it wrong, hasn't he, today?
You should kick out, get your body tight, and then reach back. He seems to be kicking out. We'll see it here after the double. He kicks out and reaches back at the same time, and that causes the bend in the back. He needs to correct that. It's very hard to get consistent entry, and another poor score. 40 on the previous dive and 61 now.
Yeah, that won't do in this sort of company. Sebastian Morales Mendoza for 3.5 somersaults for him. I think he's just really enjoying his time in the final of the Colombian. And the young man making his way will be loving that. Good response from the crowd as well.
He's going in the right direction. He was in 11th, then 9th. And a good consistent dive here. Just head up a little on the tuck. Spots the water in time though. Here the chin should be forward. You can see a big in the chin. And that just slows the dive down. A lot of effort. If he had his head forward, it would have been a much neater tuck.
But good score, 67.50, and Sebastian having a good time. Alejandro Chavez next up for 3.5 somersaults. Seen this quite a few times in this competition, but nobody's really made it look easy yet.
Except then.
Oh, that was so fast on the rotation that you do think, well, how's he going to get out of that? But he's come out beautifully.
Yeah. Look at that. Just needs to lock the knees out a fraction more. The bolt is flying around behind him. That's a telltale sign of just being slightly out of time leaving the ball, because there's still some energy left in that springboard bouncing up and down. 80 points though.
Very, very nice from Alejandro Chavez. Putting in a good performance so far. 2 rounds of diving, 3rd position for the Frenchman. It's Ilya Krasher that missed out. Back 2.5 somersault for him in round 3. 3.0 on the tariff, but dropping from joint 2nd to 5th place. And again, just a little flutter of the feet there on the kick out. Didn't look as convincing as we normally see from Ilya.
Yeah, just a small movement of the feet. Good reach back, then pulls forward. Excellent head position. But it's the feet that let him down. I'm not sure that he needed to arch so much. Here the feet should be together. You can have the knees apart to increase the rotation. If the toes were together in the tuck, you wouldn't have had that problem on the kick up.
67.50 keeps his challenge alive, but work to be done, I'm afraid, for the man from Ukraine. 2 divers left in this 3rd round. Very popular Frenchman, Mathieu Rosset, with his twister. Oh, unlucky. That was such a shame.
Well, the problem there was that he went very, very high, but it was a slow spin. So here, He just feels slightly stuck. He's trying to pull in hard, but it just dies the dive to roll over. Single twist, and he already knows he's stuck. His feet should have been further around at this point. He now ducks forward to try to increase the rotation.
67.2. Rosset, a little stumble with his challenge in round 3. And that, of course, all plays into the hands of Li Qixin. And now they're qualified in top position from the prelims with a score of 4.05 dead. And he's going to have a chance to climb back in here if he can get himself up into the high 70s.
Big dive, reverse 2.5 in the pike position.
That'll do nicely.
Yeah, right distance from the board. Again, just looks a bit hard and harsh coming off the board. Reaching back, starts the rotation, pulling forward. Yeah, the pike could just be better, and the arch on the end wasn't necessary. Just want to reach back with your hands, feel the water here, arching, and it just wasn't neat enough.
72 marks, good enough to move him up into 3rd place. So a single place jump. If it had been high 70s, he would have been able to maybe push into top 3 a little further. But how about this, eh? Oliver Homer diving beautifully through 3 rounds. 2:26.70. He leads Sun and Li of China, respectively. Still a lot of diving to come in this competition, though. Well, what a great final here in Barcelona. Our 4th medal on offer at this championships. Oleg Kolodai to go for Ukraine. Getting the board into the water, so plenty of power there, but just seemed to have no control as he left.
Yeah, landing well, but then chest went forward, now travelling forward. Feet, just a little movement there as though he reaches back. That's a miss for him.
Yep, 70.5. You need to be scoring big on your big dives. Sergei Nazin, he struggled as well a little bit today. Position at the moment, back 2.5 somersault for Sergei, and when Sergei has dived, Chris, maybe we can have a little think about potential score for gold medal today. Oh dear, again, a little splashy for Sergei Nazin. Come on then, I'll put you on the spot. What do you think for top of the podium?
Well, we're halfway there, and we're already on 226 points. So I'm going to say 450.
Okay.
0.1.
High 400s is world class, we know that. And Chris's predictions are usually not far away. I like the addition of the 0.1. You can't track that, by the way. Stuck with it. Konstantin Blaha next to go. The Austrian finishes 3.1, 3.2, 3.0. Just get that feeling he needs to get rid of that 2.6 dive and just build something else into it at the start of his programme, and then he can be really competitive. That's pretty good again for Konstantin, but I have to say, Chris, not as sharp as we have seen him.
Yeah, just a little bit of movement with his head going through the water. Strong push into the tuck. Didn't like the feet in the tuck, but as he reaches, he pulls his head down, and that moves the feet. So should have just squeezed his ears, not done any other movement on that entry.
69.75, but he's been 70s and thereabouts. So going through his last bit of mental rehearsal ahead, going to Sun and Li. In continue though, has not started that strongly. Or from at the moment out of it, back 2.5 somersault for the man in 8th position. It's the man who won bronze behind him at the Europeans that he's leading. For some reason, Martin Morphin just can't get it right today.
Yeah, not particularly high this back 2.5. A little bit more push down on the board. So weak there and then kicks too much of a pike position and then arches on the end. So that was a back 2.5 tuck to a pike out and then an arch.
And in your picture is leading this World Championship final. Germany already inspired by Harsding and Klein picking up that synchro gold medal on the 10-metre platform. Oliver Hommert into this 1-metre final, absolutely flying.
Yeah, 2.6 lead.
Very difficult, isn't it, at this level, Chris, to not think about it. And I think maybe some thoughts of I'm leading just crept in ahead of that dive.
Yeah, it's such a pity because technically it's a good dive. But here on the kick out, kicks in the wrong direction, just needed to kick up slightly more to get the dive around. Splash being created from the shoulders, and that's a miss, which is a shame. That 2-point lead will disappear quickly.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage gets done by the likes of Sun, who he's knocked down into second position. Sun with his forward 2.5, 3.3 degree of difficulty. Got a chance of making up, well, close on 20 points here if he gets it right.
Yeah, he just has to go to 64 points and he's back in the lead.
Well, he's short on the dive.
Yeah, I think it will go more than 64, but that's definitely a miss. Dropped out of the triple early, chest came up. I'll let the dive roll around. He's going fine here. Good pike position, or perfect pike position. Just needed to stay in that pike a fraction longer. It was about 15 degrees short of vertical. It'll be interesting to see these scores.
There you go. 64.35. Doing the bare minimum to get himself back to the top. Rommel Pacheco. 2 missed dives from him in the last 2 rounds, and I'm afraid that's put the Mexican completely out of it. That's more like the kind of diving we're used to seeing from Rommel, but in all honesty, the kind of diving we're used to seeing from him, Chris's platform diving.
Yeah, it's a good all-arounder. Some divers specialise, either springboard or platform. But yeah, he's very good 10-metre as well. 2-time Olympian. Pan American champion.
72 marks, easily his best score of this final. Carvajal is for Colombia. Love the way this young man has dived. He's dived without a care in the world, to be honest. Just looks like he's had a... There. Got a question for you after Sebastian has gone into the water. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's his worst effort. We've been asked here at Eurosport, when you go under the water in a big stadium that is enclosed with a lot of people, Olympics, for instance, last year, are you aware of the crowd's reaction while you're under the water coming back to the surface? Can you hear anything?
You can hear the vibrations, but you can't actually hear the clapping, the cheering. You just get that sensation that you've done a great dive, and as soon as you come up, you can see if everybody's standing up off their seat. You just have that instinct when you've hit the dive right.
And
but you can't
surface
hear.
And it's a roar.
Yeah, you can't hear at all. You just feel that what's happening above the surface.
Tariff dive this one in the 4th round. Oh, trouble from the start, but my goodness, he's done well to save that.
His arms were flying in place. How did he get back into that reverse? So he landed on the board where his arms should have been up, they were down. He was able to swing his arms over his head and then do a banana back pull entry to get the dive around after the double somersault.
Well, 67-2-0, but that win saved the day so far. Could have been in all sorts of bother there. Wry smile from Ilya Kvasha. 6th position at the moment for Ukraine start. Reverse 2.5 then in this 4th round. That's more like it. That beautiful kick out. He just floated round.
And that's because of the jump. He was so high. He's spinning the double somersault all the way up in the air. And just before he starts to drop to the water, he's out, check the rotation, and then you see just a little dip in the water with that board. But then he reaches back. Great entry. Look at that. 81
That's more
points.
like it. That's more like it from Ilya Kvasha. That puts it back in contention. Chirose got plenty of fans up there in the crowd. French diving team in as well to support. Just off the medals at the moment for Mathieu. Well, we know what this man's gymnastic capabilities are, and he's just brought it to the...
Yeah, if I'm comparing the two dives, I did like Kvasha's just a little bit more, and that went 81 points. Same height here, though. That's probably a better tuck. You see the weight before reaching back on the entry. Now, will it go the same? Will it go more than the Ukrainians? 81 points. Oh, they've marked it down.
Yeah, 73.50. I mean, it did look slightly panicky on that throw for the water, whereas Ilya was in total control. It was one of those marvellous moments where the arms came out and it was look at me, and he disappeared. So Kvasha, the star of this round, certainly. Lee has done well after a poor start. The defending champion has fought his way back in. I'm going to hand it to the Chinese divers. That level of consistency so high, you're unlikely to get more than one miss, and that miss won't be poor. So back 2.5 somersaults to finish round 4 for Li Shixin.
Yeah, talking of misses, this was one of his lowest scores in the prelims.
It'll be low again.
Yeah, there was just no power whatsoever. Didn't get the dive up in the air.
Yeah, exactly what the Chinese coaches are thinking.
Leaning back, tuck is untidy, the feet are flat, and the body's bent in an arch going through the water.
Of course. 6 marks for Lee. Dropped him back down again. And score-wise, he's running out of options here. 2 rounds of diving still to come. Mathieu Rosset into the lead. Ilya Kvasha coming from 6th to 2nd. And it's Sun that gets bumped down into 3rd position, and Oliver Hummer that loses his top spot to go 4th. What a fantastic competition this is turning into. Two rounds of diving to come. Oleg Kolodai of Ukraine will get things underway in round 5. We're going to see the same dive 3 times from Kolodai, from Nazin, and then from Blaha. Puts the twist in last, but unfortunately finishing short, so a very messy entry.
Using the lean to help the rotation. See the dip forward there, the throw to the water, and then heads in the wrong position, so the big wobble coming around on the single twist, and running out of 62.40.
We're keeping an eye on those marks. 450.1 says Chris for gold. We'll see how close we get to that. So Nazin, second diver in this 5th round, same dive. Very fast movements in the air, and that's what saved him on that occasion, because he wasn't that high off the board.
Yeah, to get the rotation, he finishes his throw while he's still on the board. That's why it's fast, and then transfer the somersault rotation into the twist and makes the dive look quick. Feet could have been extended a bit more going through the water, but quite a sharp looking dive.
68.80, it's okay. It's not medal territory for the Russian. Blaha. This is constant dive. This is the dive that he has to perform well in just to cover that 2.6 in round 1.
3.2, the single twisting 2.5. Missed the board, landed right on the corner of the board, and that put him off. As he was coming down, he could see that it was on the side, not in the centre of the board, and he drops his arms and leans. So poor takeoff there. Again, it's caused because he's just trying too hard. You've got to be relaxed, keep your arms up in the air, and not throw for the dive too early. Wobbling around on the end. 67.20. It's been
consistent scoring, but that's the dive that he needed to go into the 70s on. Would have come to Barcelona on an absolute high after his performance in the European Championships. Throws over the end, and that was always going to be the result.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of that in the Springboard competition, which is good. But once your toes are over the end of the board, you can't get that full push. So he's coming off his ankles and his heels rather than pushing with his toes. It's a reasonable job to get the dive around, but just a little low at the peak of the dive.
67.50 for a slightly happier looking Martin. Well, in this topsy-turvy competition full of fantastic diving, this man has led at one point. Oliver Humwick. Can he get back there? Fourth position at the moment after some great diving from Kvasha and Rosset in the last round. Now, tipped himself back at the start of that dive and it never really recovered.
Always worried when a diver leads with their shoulder blades, because you can, if you catch it right, then you could be right over the and very close to the board. He does hit the dive forward, but a little loose with the body because of the throw forward there. So poor technique at the start, and that movement there on the end.
70.50 goes to first position for the moment, but that won't help him hold it unless there's a serious mistake from those chasing him. Sun, then we're going to see the same twister from Sun, then Pacheco. Problems in his prelim, but he's diving well in this final. Well, Chris, I'm wondering whether he's maybe got a slight knee injury and it's just not taped, because his hurdle steps look really tentative.
Yeah, what happened in the prelims, it wasn't on this dive, it was on the reverse 2.5s, but his knees buckled, and definitely he hurt himself. He landed right on the small of his back on the diving board and then had to re-dive and probably took something out of his legs.
72 dead for Sun. Again, nobody is making that breakaway as Kvasha goes through his dry side routine for the dive that's about to come. As you can probably see from the rehearsal, it's a twister. Same dive as we're going to see here from Pacheco. That's much more like it. Well, it's a shame, isn't it? You get to round 5 and you see a dive like that and you think, well, Rommel, where were you earlier in the competition?
Yeah, I mean, qualified in 7th place, was back at 12th at some point, and left it too late, but that was a superb twisting 2.5.
76.80. Two good rounds from Rommel Pacheco. It's interesting, isn't it? Lee keeps trying to go across to have a chat with Sun, and Sun is just keeping himself to himself. Divers not sharing any information at all. Tim Morales then for Colombia, a little shaky in the last round, has dumped him back down to 11th position, but he's done well to get to this final. Yeah, I like the out. That was really classy to watch.
Arms slightly untidy, perfect landing, the toes didn't go over the end, and that tight kick out, but then the feet just go loose as he goes through the water.
72, may just recover a position there. I'll say pacing around, and all the top guys know going into these last 2 rounds they've got gold opportunities here. And it could go to anyone. Very tough one to call this. 6th position at the moment for Alejandro Chavez. Back 2.5 somersault for him. 3.2 tariff, so chances here for Alejandro to maybe take a step forward.
Yeah, he still does have a chance, and he knows it. Well, still landing on that out, slightly arched. So, good swing through. He's moving away from the board. Didn't like the long arm reach back, and that just causes the feet to drop down as he reaches back.
76.80. Keeps puts him in the hunt for what is going to be a fascinating final round for the medals. Now, Ilya Kvasha, along with Maciej Rossi, really did the business in the last round from 6th to 2nd. 4 2.5 somersaults, single twist. Take the dive very well, but that felt a lot, or felt a little short as he went into the water.
Yes, also, I think his feet were moving around just as he comes out into the twist. Yeah, just a small movement there. And he did feel slow on the rotation. Yeah, he's throwing late. There, body tension not quite there on the last part of the dive.
Yeah, he knows. In terms of gold medal potential, that's a miss at 73.60. But it's all relative. He's still there. Now, can Rossi really steal a march? This dive is all about laying the foundation for the 6th and final round. And if he can put himself in that gold medal position with maybe a bit of breathing, will feel good. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it.
Well, where did that come from? He was sitting really pretty there. 298 points. Oh, the arms were out of timing, so he feels stuck, and he didn't adjust the kick out. He needed to kick up more. That's a real shame. He's only 3 points ahead.
Well, that's killed it for Maciej Rossi. And in a competition of this quality, you cannot afford to miss a dive like that. So Rossi storms away. And his chances now have been seriously affected. Lee in 5th. But with the opportunity here on this 3.4 tariff dive to jump up into the middle positions.
Big dive. Inward, 2.5, and the pike, 3.4.
Well, he was rotating slowly. He's got it round for a finish, but that looked laboured.
Again, just a little problem on balance. Swimming through, his weight isn't in the right place, and so we see him moving away, struggling to pull in. Does get the vertical entry, but it's not flowing right. It's a little lower than he's normally able to jump up into that dive.
86.70.
Well, it was the 3.4.
Yeah, that's what helped that mark on. So puts him into top spot. Doesn't just jump into medal contention, but jumps into that top spot and with a little cushion ahead of Kvasha. And this amazing contest continues. Chavez in 3rd at the moment, ahead of Sun. And a whole host of former leaders scattered across that leaderboard. It's going to be a cracking last round. It really has been a case of pick the bones out of that as the marks have come out. We go into the 6th and final round of the men's 1 metre springboard competition here at these World Championships in Barcelona, with things very tight at the top of the leaderboard. So Ukraine, in the form of Oleg Koladai, finishes his 6th and final round. They've still got Kvasha to cheer on. He's in silver medal position at the moment.
Yeah, lands back from the end of the diving board, so didn't feel comfortable taking off. But from there on, it was a good-looking dive.
You just get the feeling, Chris, that Lee from China is going to have to miss, and Kvasha is going to absolutely have to nail his dive to change things at the top.
Yeah, I might be revising my score, or the final score, upwards at the moment. Because if we're going to go to 80, yeah, if we're going to go into 85 points, we're going to be. I'll tell you shortly.
Yes, let us see. It's been fascinating. And it's felt like a horse race with the different divers just getting themselves into the lead marginally, then dropping back again. Nazin. Oh, it's such a shame because so much of what Nazin does is impressive, but the overall package just is not delivering scores.
Yeah, the problem is on the out. Dive's not too bad. Good hurdle step, lands well. Reasonable tuck there, but just comes out too early. He goes from the tuck to the pike. Feet are in the wrong direction. He should come out the pike with the feet behind him, and the dive just dies on the end.
380. Keep an eye on those final scores. And consider Chris is saying maybe 450 plus for the goal. You can see how far off the pace the likes of Sergei Nazin are. The Russian Federation won't be enjoying that fact. Konstantin Blaha then. Been a good solid performance from him. One final effort from the Austrian. And that's the way to go out. And finally, Konstantin Blaha has put together 6 solid rounds.
Yeah, really high jump, and he comes out at the right time. Tuck could be neater, so he could work on that. That's the correct out, and follows through on the entry.
67.50 for 4:11.75. So our first man into the 400s. Thumbs up from Konstantin. A wee bit sorry for Martin Wolfram, but it's part of this experience process. You come from a major championship, the Europeans performing well, you come and don't perform so well in the Worlds. It's a learning curve. Martin then with his final dive. This is a big twist step. It's not really gone his way today, and he's not been sharp across the board, so clearly just not quite the form he was hoping to bring to Barcelona.
No, not at all. Problems with the hurdle step, travelling down the pool, low finish.
69 marks for 398.05. He's more than capable of going past 400. Genuine contender then for a medal. Oliver Holmreich from Germany as we approach the halfway point in this final round of the men's 1 metre springboard competition here at this World Championships in Barcelona. Big dive to finish for Oliver.
Oh no, he's on the corner of the ball.
Goodness me, well he was right off the edge, wasn't he, Chris? And it's thrown him sideways across the pool.
Yeah, you can see Klaus DiBiase shaking his head there, thinking, how did he land on the end of the ball? There, right on the corner, travelling in the wrong direction, and almost a foul dive. If his toes had hit the water first, that would be zeros from all judges.
And Jan, his coach, going through it with him. Horrible feeling, 28.05, and the medal opportunity has disappeared just like that. It really is very tight in this final. Now, Sun next up. If you've been in a slightly better position, you notice Lee watching on from behind the glass screen. It does look like it will be Chinese gold here. Can Sun join with a medal? This inward 2.5 somersault, 3.4. This is the dive that has put Lee into top spot. Performed it well in the last round for 80+ points. Can Sun do the same?
Yeah, Sun is 11 points behind Lee.
It's okay, but I'm afraid it's not going to score the points he needs.
11 points behind. I'm not sure, unless, of course, Lee misses. Then it's going to be very hard for him to get a goal. Possibly a medal, though. That's a shame. Come around, look at the diving board, ducks the head down and land on his shoulders.
No. Wow, 64.60 for 4.25 overall. Well, this competition continues to amaze and entertain. Pacheco for Mexico. Born in Yucatan. And using the dive that we're going to see from Lee at the end of this competition, and you can see this, even if you don't quite get it right, Chris, you can still usually get this dive down.
Yeah, this is better than the prelims. Good spinning dive. Has time to look at water, locks his arms out on the end.
Very strong last 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's gone 5 points more than he did in the prelims.
3.99. And Pacheco was looking out of it. Kasha pacing around. He has to set the benchmark in this 6th round, and it won't do him any good just looking across at some of the dives that we've been seeing in this 6th round. That'll set the nerves on edge. Now, this young man, Sebastian Morales Mendoza, nothing to lose in this final. He's made it. That's an achievement for him. Now he just needs to finish on a high and look forward. And was he high?
Yeah, that was perfect distance for a reverse twister. No problem in the hurdle step. Swings through, shoots up in the air, 1.5, 2.5 twists, looks at the board, and then lines up. That's a good final dive for him.
67 marks for 387.30 overall. And we start to move now into medal territory. Kvasha still rehearsing his final dive, which is a twisting dive at 3.0. Lee had a spinning dive at 3.3, so the Chinese diver does have that advantage. But can Chavez get in amongst it? What he needs to do first and foremost is protect that lead, and he's got the dive to do it. If he can hit this dive, Chavez is looking at a medal. Well, again, heavy into the water, but we've seen reasonable marks given for that sort of entry. Rest of the dive looks okay.
Yeah, he was within reach, just 11 points back. Good swing through, quickly into the pike. Oh, I didn't like the head position. But he does get the vertical entry. High degree of difficulty. Well, it does put the pressure on the others because he'll score well with high degree of difficulty.
4.31.55. His final overall would be good enough for a medal. Kvasha, Rosset, Lee to come. All three of them could take it away from Chavez. Now, we're going to see the same dive from Kvasha and Rosset. This twister down at 3.0, clearly a dive they love to do and they like to finish with. But in terms of a gold medal, Kvasha's got to hit this perfectly. Well, you heard a little exhale of effort as he went off the board there. He gave it the maximum treatment, but that little flutter of the feet, Chris, is going to be of interest to the judges.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to try and go over 70 points. He might get hanged for that. That little movement there of the feet, and then the line up just a slightly short of vertical. Now, he was on 3.62. Or will he go over? Well, the head position's just down slightly there, waiting for the scores.
Nervous wait. Oh, he likes it. He likes it. 4.34.30. The celebration is because he knows he's in the medals. So Ilya Kvasha will be on the podium, and he has set a mark to be beaten. Away goes Chavez. He can't watch the last two. Rosset. It's going to have to be so good with this final dive. Missed in the last round. This has to be perfect or he has no chance. And already in trouble. Well, saves it, but that's not going to be enough, surely.
Yeah, you see the arms moving around. That you can tell that he's out of balance as he's landing on the diving board. And he's back quite away for a reverse. I think he's just trying too hard, struggling with the takeoff. He's got his shoulders hunched over. He can do better.
Well below 4.31.55 from Chavez of Mexico. So the Mexican will be on the podium. Better than Sun's final score of 4.25. And this is the man that could bump Sun off of the podium and bump everybody down by a single position to take gold. Lee then with his final dive. The important factor here is 3.3 on the degree of difficulty. If he hits this with some degree of competency, the gold is his. 4.34.30 to beat from Kvasha.
Just needs 62 points.
Well, he gets it round. He's in clean. China looking to add another gold medal to the two they already have. Chris Snow next to me underlining 450 on his notepad with several very deeply scrawled lines.
Yeah, good effort. Still think he can work on his legs, but I'm almost sure that low 60s to go and get the gold medal, and he should score more scores of of which there's a delay.
We await their final decision. Crasher with a right smile. It's not his medal. 460.95.
Wow, look at that, 87 points.
What a finish. 2 rounds comfortably into the 80s. And that's difficult to compete against. And let's be honest, Crasher got that close because Lee messed up in his first 2 rounds. He was nowhere near his best there. And China take their 3rd gold medal here at this World Championships in Barcelona. And finally, Lee, who's looked like the most nervous man in the pool here all afternoon, gets to smile.
Yeah, retaining his title, which he looked to almost lose halfway through the competition.
Ukraine on the medal table now with a silver. I'm sure we'll see a few more delivered. I'm sure we'll compete in the 3-metre springboard and be one of the stronger challengers there. But once again, China proved to be the nation to beat. It's Sun, Lee's compatriot, that misses out. He's off of that podium. Alejandro Chavez, he takes the bronze just behind Ilya Kvasha. But in the end, 2 superb final rounds of diving from Li Shixin, as Chris Snowd said, means that he retains his world title. It's another gold for China. That makes it 3 and counting here in Barcelona. Well, Chris, that was a belter. Really enjoyable.
Yeah, normally the 1-metre competition aren't that exciting, but with the flip-flop of the placings, we were really on the edge of our seat.
Well, this is what's coming up for you tomorrow. We've got the men's 3-metre springboard synchronised prelims, and then into the afternoon coverage it'll be the women's 1-metre springboard final. Let's hope that's somewhere as good as the men's that we've just seen. Very exciting stuff. And then following on from that, the men's 3-metre springboard synchronised final, a chance to see those that you followed in the morning in the prelims going through into that top 12. Well, more great competition from Barcelona today. Don't forget, later on this evening, Chris Snowd will be back with highlights coverage of the women's 10-metre platform at synchro final. Another gold medal on offer in the pool here in Barcelona. Well, that's it for our live coverage today, but highlights action later on with Chris. But from me, Simon Golding, and from Chris, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you later on today.